Good morning, I'm Richard Murphy, and this is another of my rants about what is happening in the world today. I am really angry, as many people will be aware from my Twitter feed, about the way that Labour is talking about the NHS at present. I think it's irresponsible of it to claim that the way in which GPs are paid is murky, because that can only fuel patient anger at a time when people are already stressed. But worse than that, I think this misses the whole point about why the NHS is under stress. The NHS is under stress, we've no doubt about that. But what is the cause of the excess demand which it is suffering? My answer is straightforward. It is because people cannot afford to enjoy good health at present. They have low pay, job insecurity, poor housing, and all the stress that follows from these conditions. And that isn't just for those who are on what is conventionally called low pay. This reaches right up through the income strata, because so many people are absolutely at their wits' end about how they can pay their bills at present. It's this that is ultimately putting the NHS under the stress that it is suffering. What stress is that? Well, the stress that means that people who might otherwise have a straightforward virus that they might, for example, fight off, have it turn into pneumonia. Then they require hospitalisation. It's people who might be able to survive the normal stresses of day-to-day life, who, because of the excess burdens that austerity and the cost of living crisis create, do instead become depressed and require the support of medical services. These are the issues that are causing the healthcare crisis that we're currently suffering. And unless we actually now look at those issues properly and say, how are we going to address austerity? How are we going to address poor quality housing? How are we going to provide housing security? How are we going to keep people in jobs for the long term? And how are we going to increase wages? Then we will never solve that health crisis that we all face. This is the reality. Talking about the GP contract, talking about bed blocking, a term which is itself pejorative, and talking about the A&E crisis is not in itself a way to find a solution to this problem. The reality is we need to actually address the real economic failings in our society, which are driving people towards despair, illness, and the NHS.